There's a house that stands beyond the last road on Earth. A house not found in maps because it does not want to be found. It waits. It waits behind a line of trees that no longer sway, roots blackened, leaves like ash, and branches that curl like fingers over a path made of cracked stone. The gate never opens, and yet it's never closed. Those who step through feel the air thicken, like they're walking underwater. The house is silent, but not quiet. It breathes, it pulses, it watches. Its windows are not broken but sealed, not with glass, but with something darker, heavier, like frozen smoke. The wood creaks beneath no footsteps. The vines on the walls are dry, but they move. They move in slow spirals like veins on a dying body. Inside, the air is cold and tastes like rusted nails. The light never comes from lamps, only from flickering sources with no origin. No humans live here. They once did. Now their memories walk instead. There are 7 rooms, 7 hallways, 7 turns, 7 locked doors, each one older than time and older than the last sin. The kitchen smells like something sweet and wrong, burnt sugar mixed with bone dust. There is always a spoon stirring in a pot, but the pot is empty. The dining table is set for 12, all chairs facing outward, not inward, as if the room dines on the people and not the other way around. Portraits hang on the wall, but their faces change, sometimes melting, sometimes cracking, sometimes following you when you walk by. The ceiling above the main hall leaks, not water, but a black oil that makes the floor slippery with grief. The staircase doesn't lead upward. It spirals like a throat choking on its own darkness, every step more narrow than the last. It groans like something buried beneath is trying to rise. The second floor holds the nursery. The crib is empty, but it rocks. The mobile above it turns counterclockwise, hanging dolls with twisted limbs and eyes that blink without lids. There's a book on the floor that rewrites itself every night. Its pages bleed. Every hallway looks the same but feels different. One has whispers, another has humming, the third is silent, but you hear footsteps behind you anyway. The walls have layers beneath them, like skin peeled too many times. Mirrors reflect your back even when you face them. Behind one mirror is the first hint of her. Granny. She doesn't appear like a ghost, nor like a demon. She appears like regret given shape, tall, too tall. Her neck seems stretched, vertebrae popping through translucent skin like marbles beneath ice. She wears a veil, not out of modesty, but because her face would unravel the eyes that saw it. Her hands are long and backwards, palms facing the wrong way, dragging nails behind her like broken knives. Her feet never touch the floor but leave footsteps soaked in something darker than blood. She never moves fast. She doesn't need to. She's already near. The bathroom has a mirror that doesn't show you. It shows who you'll become if you stay. The bathtub is full of water, but it never overflows, and what floats in it has hair and teeth. Sometimes the water rises when no one is near, and sometimes it breathes. The attic has a chair facing a wall, and the wall has a mouth stitched shut. If you sit, you'll hear what it would have said, and it always ends with your name. The basement stairs are missing the middle steps, like they've rotted away from fear. The floor below is padded like a madhouse, and claw marks go from floor to ceiling in desperate spirals. A doll lives down there. No limbs, just a head and chest. But it whispers. It knows things. It calls her mother. There's no light there, only heat, like breath behind your neck. But the house revolves around one thing. The 7th door. The others are distractions, delays. The 7th door is where it all begins and ends. It's not a door anymore, more like a wound in the wall stitched with teeth. Every night at 3:06 a.m., the stitches twitch.
I once rented a small cabin in northern Maine, right at the edge of a pine forest. It was isolated, no neighbors, no roads, and no phone signal. I went there to finish writing my thesis, but the silence, it started getting to me. The first night, I heard a soft knocking sound coming from under the floor. I thought maybe it was pipes or old wood shifting, but the knocking was steady, 4 taps, then silence. 4 taps again, always at 3:12 a.m. By the third night, I placed my phone on the floor and recorded the sound. When I listened back the next morning, the knocking was there, but something else too. Between each set of taps, there was breathing, faint, wet, right beneath the boards. I pulled up one of the loose planks in the corner. Underneath was just black soil, but it was damp, like it had been breathing too. I tried to leave the next morning, but my car wouldn't start. And the forest trail I'd walked through on day 1, it was gone, like the woods had closed around me. That night, I heard the breathing again, but this time, it was followed by scraping, something dragging along the underside of the floor, metal on wood. I couldn't sleep. At 3:12, I sat in the corner with a flashlight and a kitchen knife. The tapping began. 4 taps. Breathing. Scraping. Then the lights went out. And then, the floor creaked. Not beneath me, beside me, like something had come up, out. I pointed my flashlight at the center of the room. The rug was lifted. Something was under it. I ran. Outside. Into the dark. But the forest looked wrong. The trees were twisted, leaning inward, like they were watching. I turned back to the cabin and I saw it. In the window, a handprint, but not a hand. Something too long, too thin. I slept in the woods, shaking. The next morning, my car was working again. The forest path had returned. I left everything behind. Later that year, I Googled the cabin's address. There was no cabin listed. Not for the last 24 years. The last owner was found.
There's a place no map will ever show. Not because it's hidden, but because it never stays in one place. It appears where silence grows heavy, where birds stop flying, where the air forgets how to move. That's where the house builds itself again, plank by plank, from old wood soaked in memory and mold. Its walls aren't built. They remember themselves back into shape. And in the center of that house, beneath 7 layers of dead time, behind 6 doors that scream when opened, waits the 7th. A door that no key has ever locked and no hand has ever touched. Behind that door, she lives, not because she wants to, but because she's become the house. They used to call her Granny. Once, long ago, she was human. Maybe. But the house needed a keeper, a voice, a mother. And it found her. Or maybe it made her. She doesn't move like us. She glides, floats just above the ground, her feet never landing, but always leaving behind stains, not of blood, but memory. Her presence isn't cold, it's still. Like everything around her forgets how to exist when she passes. Her face is covered by a veil, black, rotted lace clinging to her, as if even the fabric wants to escape. No one's seen beneath it. Those who tried never came back. Not dead. Just gone. Erased. The house has rules. You don't knock, you don't speak, and you never sit in the chair. The chair rocks by itself in the attic. Old, splintered, groaning even when no wind blows. Sit in it, and the house listens to your thoughts. It remembers your worst moment and shows it to you on the walls, not like a vision, but like it happened again. The kitchen always smells like burnt sugar and teeth. Pots boil, but nothing's inside. Spoons stir without hands. In the nursery, a mobile spins backwards. Dolls hang upside down, heads twitching, eyes painted red. There are mirrors, but they don't reflect light. Only fear. Sometimes your reflection does things you didn't do. One mirror smiles when you frown. Another blinks slowly, after you've already turned away. The hallways stretch too long, change shape behind you. Footsteps echo, not yours but someone walking just behind you. And the 7th door, it doesn't open, it breathes, it pulses. It leaks black mist that curls like fingers. On the 7th night it opens by itself, slowly, softly, lovingly, and she comes out, tall, wrong, face hidden, humming a lullaby from before humans were born. The walls tremble, the house moans, The floor beneath your feet feels like skin. She doesn't run. She waits. Waits until you forget that fear was real, until you almost feel safe. That's when you see her hand, long, backwards, palm facing up, reaching from the shadows. She doesn't hurt you. She empties you. One touch and your name is gone. Your memories fall like ash. Your voice fades, but your mouth still moves. And then, you become part of her. Not as a person, but as something she wears. Something that hums with her. Something that stirs the pot in the kitchen, or rocks in the attic, or blinks from inside a mirror. The house doesn't need visitors. It grows them. It remembers faces that never existed. It dreams people into itself. Every time someone thinks of her, hears of Granny, the house shifts, the fog thickens, and a door appears. Somewhere. Anywhere. Maybe near you. Maybe outside your house. Maybe behind you right now. The seventh door opens again, and she steps forward, and the cycle begins again. Not because she wants to, but because the house must feed. It must remember. And she never sleeps.
Everyone in the nearby village warned outsiders not to go near Black Hollow Forest after sunset. They didn't explain why. They just said, it remembers faces and it doesn't like when people come back. But Jack, an urban explorer YouTuber, didn't believe in curses. He laughed, packed his camera gear and entered the forest alone at 5:43 p.m. His last message to his group chat was, "Let's see what this spooky jungle's got. Catch y'all at midnight." By 6:30 the sun had dipped. A cold mist rolled in. Jack turned on his flashlight. That's when he noticed the trees weren't in the same places anymore. The narrow trail he marked with red cloth, gone. His compass? Spinning. Even worse. He began hearing his own voice echoing through the woods. But he wasn't speaking. He played back his camera audio. A soft whisper was caught between the wind. "You shouldn't have come back. Jack." He froze. How did it know his name? Then he noticed a tree. Carved into the bark was something that looked like a human face, screaming. The eyes were hollow. Jack tried to back away, but his boot hit something soft. A decayed tripod, same model as his, and a camera. He checked the footage. It wasn't his. It showed a man walking through the forest, wearing Jack's same jacket. But the timestamp was 2017, and the man's face was blurred. Until the final frame, when the man turned toward the camera, eyes gouged out, and whispered, "I found your way out." Jack ran. Branches grabbed at his clothes. The forest didn't want him to leave. Somehow he burst out near the highway at 11:59 p.m., scratched, shaking, and silent. When the police arrived, Jack couldn't speak. He'd lost his voice. But in his backpack, there was another SD card. The footage on it? It showed Jack sleeping in his bed from inside his room the night before he entered the forest. No one knows who placed the camera, and Jack hasn't slept since. The forest still whispers his name.
Evelyn, a lonely painter from New York, found peace in a forgotten house buried deep in the woods of Maine. But the silence she craved was broken on her very first night, when she heard heavy breathing coming from the walls. At 3:03 a.m., the front door creaked open by itself, followed by a whisper so close to her ear it made her skin crawl. "You're not the first." Her mirror reflection began to delay by 2 seconds, and one night, it smiled. But she didn't. Red footprints led from the basement to her bed, yet the basement was nailed shut. Each night, the breathing grew louder, closer, until it felt like someone was sleeping beside her. In terror, she began painting uncontrollably. Each canvas revealed a faceless woman with no eyes watching her from the shadows. One morning, when she tried to escape, the front door had vanished, replaced by a blank wall. Her phone rang with a girl's whisper, "Help me, she wears my skin." When she looked into the mirror again, her reflection blinked first, and then stepped out. It wasn't a trick. It wore Evelyn's face. It took her place. No one has seen the real Evelyn since, But they say if you ever enter that house and stand near a mirror, you'll hear soft breathing behind you, and your reflection might just walk away without you.